Hello guys, this is Siri from Siri Tutor Blogs. Today, so in our last session, we have seen web application development using Spring MVC architecture. In that, we have seen the user registration form where it gets this form and we fill um, some username sabita sabita at gmail.com, password and age, phone number. Okay. uh, when we click on the register, the Savita which is already saved as a request flow. um, when we try to go back and say, we are seeing two forms, right? User registration form and the service form. But when we give Savita, it does give this template, but this is not the actual persistent object. It is just giving any object because we have hard coded the class. We have hard coded the class. So, if for example, if I give Siri tutor blogs, that also will it can be rendered as a JSON, because the reason is it can simply take any user and we are just hard coding that object and displaying it. It's not coming from the actual persistent object. To make the thing persistent, so if we have even written one more API, which is this one, that is also not working, right? So how can we make this object persistent? To make this object persistent, we have to make some changes. We have to do IOC, inversion of control, and we have to add dependency injection. Okay, for that we have to add a service layer where it has an interface. We'll add some interface to a service layer interface class and the implementation class for the service. um, and we have to call that objects in the controller. Okay, let's see how we can do that. Right now we are just seeing all the hard coded values, right? The hard coded values are being hard coded here, slash register. See, after success, this is where it is coming from. We are just entering the values here and it is just displaying the same object again and again. We are just returning the same object. In search also, in the last class, I think we did not get the chance to look into the search was giving an error. The reason for that is, mm, looks like there is here it is listed like this instead of a smaller s, so that's why it is giving us an error. But now if you just redo it, yeah, this one, search. Yeah, search. If you give the name as John, see, it's gonna come. Okay, it can be anything, but search is just again another hard code part. See, Siri. If I give Siri, it's giving Siri. If I give ABC, it will give ABC, because we have hard coded the search also here. We are just simply saying return this, whatever the search gets, just return the same name and the same age. That is what we are trying to tell, and we are trying to display. Here we are just displaying the string, but here we are just displaying the object, the user object, whatever we have created and hard coded object. Okay, now let's create, to make it Spring IOC, the inversion of control, and uh, to make we have to do dependency injection for the classes, and then it should work, so whenever we give a registration form, we submit the registration form, that object will be persistent until the whole application is up and running, and until the application is shutting down. Okay, so we have to create. So here we cannot create, there is always a problem from the idea. So we have to create a folder service here, and inside the service we will going to create Java class file, which is user service. Okay, uh, and this service, what is the intent of this service is, it is an interface based dependency injection, and this is loosely coupled between the controller and the service. Okay, so um, let's have an abstract methods here. Register user is the first abstract method that will take user, whatever the user is added from the form, it will take that, and it returns a user here. Okay, so it doesn't have an implementation, all the methods are abstract, so we don't have to define it. So here we have to say, instead of a class, we have to make the change as interface, then it will start recognizing, oh, this is an abstract class. Okay, this is for the registration user, register user. The same thing will do it for find by user name. Username, it will take a string name and username, and it will return a user. Okay, username, and it will return a user. Let's do another thing. Search user, search user name, yeah, search users. It will take name and minimum age. So here we are introducing another layer to this project, which is a service layer. Okay guys, so this is going to when we enter a name and the minimum age, it's going to return a list user. Okay, let's add a list import, and then a semicolon here, and then we want to do get all users. List user. Okay, and then get user count. How many users did we add? That count is going to be retrieved. Okay, these are the different abstract methods that we have defined, and we have to write the implementation in a different class called let's create a different class here to write all the implementation. User service implement. Okay, all right. So what is the intent of this user service implement? This should be a singleton. So we have to see the problem in our previous example is the bean, whatever the bean we are creating, the object we are creating, it's not persistent. It keeps on changing, and it it doesn't have a definite um, or persistent bean. So that was the problem we are having, right? So in order for it to make it persistent, this present class, the implementation class, should be a singleton service bean. That means the object can be created only once and should be uh, reused anywhere in the project. Correct. So we are making this service user service implementations class as singleton, and at the rate service we are going to add at the rate service annotation, which makes as a spring managed service bean for singleton by default, and it will going to make it IOC. The spring creates and manages this object, and bean life cycle is being maintained at the rate post construct, at the rate pre destroy. All these things we are going to implement as how we have done it in core the spring core demo project. And singleton pattern, only one instance for the entire application. They won't be, you cannot create multiple instance. Okay, let's include this service. Yes, should be capital here. Service. Okay. Okay. And then we are planning to implement this user service. User services. Okay. And then implement method. Implementation methods are these. So by default, it's gonna, we have to override all these methods. Okay. All right, before doing that, we are going to do one more thing. So, uh, to make the object in memory storage, see, we are not using any database, we are not uh, connecting to database as of now. We are just have to store the object somewhere. So we will use an concurrent hash map for the thread safety, and which is important for the singleton. So we'll declare that variable private final variable. So final, it cannot be redefined, it is final once we have defined it. So we are creating a map object map variable here, which will take a string as well as a user object as a user storage. So we are going to store all the objects here, equals to new concurrent hash map. Okay, and now and also we'll take another variable for the count of all the IDs. How many objects we have created, those many IDs will be will increment the counter. Okay, and we'll take a default constructor. The default constructor uh, here we are just going to say that user implementation constructor called, this is from the service method, service user service implementation constructor called, and and IOC container is creating the singleton bean. So this message will appear only once. Okay, um, okay, this message will appear only once for the whole entire um, application. Then uh, we are going to, for the bean life cycle, we have to implement bean um, we have to implement init with the post construct annotations. So called after the bean is created and dependency is injected. Dependencies are injected. Okay. So for that we have to create public void init method, and you have to add at the rate post construct. So for this post construct, we have to add a dependency in pom.xml. Let's see. So in pom.xml, for them to recognize, we have to go back here and we have to add this guy. And then let's go back there and just say sync maven sync, and it should recognize. Okay, um, so that is where it's gonna create. Mm, then let's, it is still, oh, we have to do import statement here, and then it will go away, and from the service service implementer initializing. Okay. Then during the post construct, we are going to create pre-populated with some user objects. Okay, we are going to pre-populate some user objects here. Pre-populate user objects, hard-coded user objects. So user test user one equals to new user of, the first one is admin, and it is admin, so it should be in double quotes, all dot example dot com, and then password can be admin 123, and age is 30, and no, okay, semicolon. Let's do at least test 2, and then John, 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 his age is 25, and his phone number is, cannot start with 0, so okay, let's add one more, which is 3, okay, and Siri, 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 okay. I hope this is 10, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 10. Um, and then by default, whatever um, the we have created a map variable, right? We are going to add it to that. It's added to the map variable using put. Key is admin and test user one. User pass storage dot put. Key is John, test 2, user storage dot put. Key is Siri, and test 3. Okay, and the total count we will id count is 3 because we have created 3 objects as of now, and we are going to simply um print preloaded preloaded user storage dot size. We are simply test users. Okay. Um, and we can say service user service implementation is ready to use. Okay, all right. Then we have to do pre-destroy as well. We have to create pre-destroy. For that, public void cleanup. We have to write this, and pre-destroy annotation we have to include uh, service pre destroy user service implementation shutting down. Okay, and total users total users registered in this session is user storage dot size. We'll print the size before deleting it, and then we'll say service from the service clearing user storage, and we'll just simply say user storage dot clear. Okay, and we'll say service user service implement destroyed. Okay, so we have added the bean life cycle. Now let's see. So here what we are doing is the user controller, when it comes here for the post request, post registration, we are just handling here itself, saying that after the um, um, after all the fields are filled, and when the user hits on the registration button, it comes here, and then what we are simply doing is we are checking for the errors, and then we are just taking that value into the users. uh, we are not binding anything, we are just simply, because see in model, we are not using the model here anywhere, we are just simply getting the whatever the value we have sent um from the controller, from the UI. We are adding that user ID here, user dot get get username, right? This user we are getting it from here, and this one we are getting it from the form, right? So so we are not saving any user here, whatever the user we are getting from the form, we are just directly redirecting that user to the success page, that's it. And actually it has to get the user name here from here and display the username. I don't understand why it is not displaying the name. We have to find out. Welcome to whatever the username we fill it in the field, it has to display here as welcome test user registration success. That is what we are supposed to see, but we are not seeing that. We have to find out why we are not seeing it. We will look into that later, but for now, um, this is what is going on. It is a simple thing, but instead of that, whenever it hits on the register link, it here it's going to redirect to registration form, and it is taking an empty bean here, user object, and it is tying to the model.add attribute. I think we have to do the same thing here as well. But then when after the registration form is filled, after clicking on the button, it comes to this thing. So when the button is clicked, we have to write some logic to make the object saved, right? For that, we are going to go back into the implementation here, and we will write the logic here. So during the registration register, we're going to get the user object. So um, here from the service registering user dot get username. Okay, we are getting what is the username we are which was entered there in the controller, the same user we are getting here, and then we are checking here if the user is already existing or not. So we'll make a check if the user is existing or not. So if So we have uh, the user storage, uh, the map object. We are going to search in that for the key. Okay, so user dot get username. The key we will get it from there, and then we are going to print it saying user name already exists. User dot get name. So this user is already exist, and we are going to return null. If it is already exist, we're just going to display that message. That's it. um, if the user is not existing, then it comes here, and we have to save that user, we have to store that user. So for that, we have to take this user storage map icon, and then we have to put that with user name dot get username, and key is this, and value is that one, and we increase the id counter. Okay, and we are going to display user registered successfully, total users is user, I think we have forgot to put user storage dot get get count, we have to say get size. Okay, or we can print this one as well, and then we just simply return the user. Okay, that is for the registration. So we are just making a little bit of execution and checking here, instead of just simply redirecting it to the success page. Okay, let's do the find username here. uh, Find username, it just takes a string, and then it's going to search. So first of all, we are going to display service finding user by username. What is the username? And then what we are going to do is user storage dot get of username dot to lowercase, we are going to get it. Okay, and put it in the user. Okay, now we are checking, we have to check for a condition. If user not equal to null, then if it is present, it means then service user found. else we'll simply say user not found, user not user not found. And what is the user you are trying to find? Is the username. Okay, and we will simply returning the default user for the demo purpose. Okay, user is not found, we will give this message on the console, but we will going to create a user. So this user username, we are just for the demo purpose we are just displaying it, but if it is not found it won't found. Username plus @example.com, and it's gonna password is something this, and age is 33, and the phone number is okay. This is hard coded value if it is not found, so we have to try all these things and find out if it is working as expected. Service returning default user for this particular user. And here we return um, we are returning, if it is not this user it will return this, if not that one. Okay, user, the semicolon. Okay, that's pretty much it. And we have three more things. We are going to do it in the next session, and we'll going to run it and see how we can demonstrate singleton and dependency injection using web application, web MVC, Spring MVC. Okay, thanks guys, take care, bye.